And that emphasis on the word deportation is crucial because that is not to be confused with the detainment hearing. Can Khalil be deported is the question that needs to be answered. What do you think comes out of today's case?
Well, this is another example of where the argument is that it's some sort of free speech violation when you're engaging in aiding and advising terrorist organizations, which is a basis for deportation. And that's exactly what the rub is here for him. And he certainly does not deserve to be here if that's the type of conduct he's going to engage in. And it's not First Amendment protected conduct whatsoever.
Okay, here's the thing that I don't think a lot of people, including on our side, are really grasping about this. This is the left's big move to normalize the idea that terrorists have a right to come here. Terror supporters have a right to come here. Those who have pledged allegiance to terrorist groups, and at that point, I don't know what the difference between you and a terrorist is, have a right to come here. And we should listen to them and learn things from them. We could benefit. Okay, here's the thing. People don't realize this guy, Mahmoud, okay? This guy, Lee, he's on a temporary visa. He has publicly endorsed Hamas, as has that Georgetown academic who's here on a visa, publicly endorsed Hamas, a designated terror organization. Both of them, Khalil, whose hearing is today, and now this Georgetown academic, and the left is running around, oh, he's a professor, we can't get rid of him. Well, like Khalil, publicly endorsed Hamas, a U.S. designated terror organization. They have both had direct connections to Hamas's leaders. They have had conversations and discussions with Hamas's leaders. That breaks the terms of your visa. Now, here's the thing, okay? And this is a question. So this is where you got to ask, where's the left going with this? What is the Democrats' long-term plan here? Hamas, Lee, is a U.S. designated terror organization, just like ISIS and Al-Qaeda. Hezbollah too. So should we take people who endorse ISIS or have connections with their leaders? Should we do that? Because if this guy wins or we normalize this, that's where we're going. Where does that end? Because let me tell you who it's going to let into this country. There are a lot of people, Lee, coming in that, you know, has he personally conducted a terror attack? Not that we know of. He hasn't been caught. Is he coming in as part of an ISIS smuggling network? Yes. Does he have connections to leadership? Yes. He's coming from Yemen. Ooh, that's a hotbed of terror. Is he a terrorist? Well, he's not on the international want list yet. Does that mean he's not one of them? No. What is the best way we can figure that out? He's got connections to leadership. So if this legally is where they are going, you understand, this is going to let in everyone who's pledged allegiance to the leaders of Al-Qaeda, Hezbollah, ISIS. Oh, we don't like ISIS. That wouldn't happen. Lee, there's no difference. They have the same terror organization designation. Mm-hmm. So, and even the way Fox is spinning this, I'm like, anti-Israel protest. No.
This is pro-terrorist speech is what it is. Yeah.
Look, you have every right in America. If you're an American citizen, if you don't like the priorities of the government of Israel, you don't like how they do business, right, fine, go protest. I have no problem with it. Whatever. I don't agree with you, but whatever. I'm not threatened by you. It's just a debate we've been having for decades. That is not what this is. And so what the left is trying to establish now, and really the right is helping them in some ways with the way we are covering this, is in the right-wing media not getting it. This is not a free speech issue. It's not. In fact, we're not even talking about coming here on a visa and protesting against Israel. That is not even what happened here. That is misinformation.
I have a quick question for you. Why was the free speech of a high school football coach who took a knee and did a prayer after a football game? That was not permitted. and this guy was an American citizen. But yet now this, oh, we've got to defend this.
The left is so hypocritical
Yeah.
on this, Lee.
Yeah.
I mean, look at me. I got my first major strike for saying, hey, you know what? It says on the mask box that the mask doesn't work. Bam, lost my Facebook account. This guy who has pledged allegiance to Hamas, but Lee, it was so bad they were handing out his group cards with the faces of the leadership of Hamas, praising them as heroes. They're like trading cards. The group this guy leads at Columbia vowed the decimation of Western culture. That is their goal. The destruction and decimation of Western culture, quote unquote, from the New York Post. I'm sorry, that is not, well, he disagreed with Israel, so Trump's kicking him out. No, not when you're on a visa. That's a declaration of war. And again, if we let him stay and we legally establish, and a lot of people on our side, there's people on our side who think we shouldn't be funding Israel. They don't like Israel. They're anti-Israel, whatever. They are not understanding this. They're seeing this as a free speech issue. It's not. If you are here on a visa and you want to protest Israel peacefully, they're not going to pick you up. But when you publicly endorse Hamas, a designated terror organization, there is no different from you, different between you and somebody who endorses ISIS. When you have direct connection to the leaders of Hamas in Gaza, when you have direct connection to the leaders of ISIS, there's no difference. They are designated terror organizations by the U.S. State Department. We cannot tolerate that. Dear God, I mean, the whole Department of Homeland Security, Lee, was founded to what? Secure the homeland, to keep these people from coming over our border. Now we're like, wow, we should give them a visa and listen to what they have to say. What, in between bombings? Because that's what's going to happen. I mean, Lee, we even have a designation for them. They're called SIAs. I talk about SIAs all the time, special interest aliens. All the way up, this is how radical this has gotten, all the way up through Obama. If you're an SIA, you're not a known leader of Hamas, ISIS, Hezbollah, Al-Qaeda, but you have direct connections to people who are. That makes you a special interest alien. You get turned the heck around at the border and you get sent back. Who did that? We did that all the way through Obama because why? It's U.S. law. It's the law of this country. Change it if you don't like it. And now we're like, well, we should listen to what he has to say. Why does he get to stay? Because he took part in some protests. But your average SIA, by the way, there's over 700,000 of them in the country. A lot of them came in through ISIS networks over the border. Why did they not get to stay? And here's another question. Is the way you get to stay, because they're going to start doing this, is the way you get to stay, well, I'm from Yemen. I'm with ISIS. I came in with Mahmoud here, who's with the ISIS leadership, but Joe Biden let us go. You mean I get to stay if I just go to a college campus and hold up a sign and go First Amendment? Yeah. Okay, cool. Where's the nearest college? I don't care anything about it. I'm just here to perpetrate jihad, but I'll hold up a sign so they can't deport me. That's the only difference between these people. And Lee, Trump is currently hunting those SIAs, that 700,000 that we keep hearing about. Again, the only difference between them and him is he held up a sign, terrorized Jewish students, is a virulent anti-Semite, and wants the destruction of Western civilization. So the left thinks he's cool. No difference. Otherwise, he is an SIA. That is what he is. This is a really, really scary precedent that our side is not. We're not getting. And that's because there's a growing kind of move on our side of like, hey, we're broke. We don't want to fund anyone. We don't want to fund Israel. I don't like Israel anymore because I got to fund them. So, hey, free speech for this guy. This guy is a terrorist sympathizer with direct connections to terror leaders. And so is the Georgetown professor. Oh, this country.